going with our first recipe. We're going to be making great northern beans, right? Okay. For the great northerns, you need 5 to 5.5 cups water, 1 pound dried great northern beans, 1 cup onion chopped, 1 tablespoon extra virgin olive oil, which is optional, 3/4 teaspoon salt, 2 tablespoons onion powder, 1 1/2 tablespoon McKay's chicken seasoning, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, and 1 cup fresh spinach that's finely chopped, and that's optional. Okay, show us how to make this. This is good because it's a bean recipe.
That's right, and beans really are base. This is a basic recipe, and beans are such an important part to add to our diet. You know, they help to, I'm going to start here by putting the water in, but beans help to reduce our risk of heart disease.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're high in protein. You know, they're a good source of B vitamins. They have lots of fiber.
Yes.
They help to reduce our risk of cancer. So they're really, they just don't get enough attention.
They're really good for you.
Yes,
Right.
and they taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So we've just put our water in the pot, and then I'm just doing half a recipe here.
Okay.
And so that was 2 3/4 cups of water instead of the regular amount, but you can do a full pound or a half a pound.
Okay.
And then there's a half a pound of the navy beans. You can use any kind of white bean in this recipe.
Yes.
Navy beans, great northern beans.
Oh, okay.
Chickpeas are delicious.
Really? I've
Yeah.
never done chickpeas.
Yeah.
Except
Oh.
for in a can, but I've never cooked them myself.
Oh, yeah. They're
Yeah.
very easy to cook in the crock. Well, all beans.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I just put the salt in,
Yeah.
and then this is extra virgin olive oil, which gives a really nice flavor. It's optional, but I like to put it in because it tastes good.
Yes. Now, can I ask you, we're putting the salt in right away, and some people say you shouldn't put the salt in. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I've always heard that too, but I have cooked, honestly, I've cooked hundreds of pounds of beans working on these recipes because I wanted to get it all right.
Yes.
And I really haven't found a difference, either with the
okay.
salt or without the salt.
Okay. Yeah.
So
It won't make them tougher or anything like that?
No, and they steam to cook about the same length of time, either way. And so you just, then now it's ready to go, and you can either cook it on low or you can cook it on high. In fact, in my recipes, I have where you can cook it high or low, soaked or not soaked, because people have preferences.
Absolutely.
And so
well,
this
that's
is
nice.
And what I do here is just cook them till they're soft, and that is where is my bottom. It's my principle, my beginning principle with using slow cookers, is because what you want to do is find out with your cooker how long it takes to cook your beans soft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, all slow cookers are not created equally. They really aren't, and it took me a while to figure this out.
Right.
But I've divided it up into average cookers, fast cookers, and extra fast cookers. And an average cooker will cook a pound of beans in about 9 to 9.5 hours. But some cookers go faster, and they're going to take about 8 to 8.5 hours to cook that pound of beans.
Is that on high or on low?
On low.
On low.
And
so
then
average is 9 to 9.5, you said?
For an average cooker.
Average.
Or if it cooks a little faster, it's going to be what I call a fast cooker, and it's going to take 8 to 8.5 hours.
1 hour less then.
Okay. And if it's an extra fast cooker, it's usually about 6.5 to 7 hours.
Boy, that's pretty fast.
When I've looked at cookbooks, I've seen where they put, this recipe will take 8 to 10 hours.
Right.
A lot of times there's like a 2-hour variation.
And you say, what's up with that?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
When I want to eat, I want to eat. I don't want to have to wait. So
you don't want to wait 2 hours when your stomach's hungry.
No,
absolutely.
No. And, maybe I'm having company and then everybody's gone.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Or you eat tough beans, and that's not such a fun thing.
Not a good idea. No.
Yeah.
No. So that's why once I figured this out, that they work differently, it just really made it easy, because now you can know when your food's going to be ready.
Yes, I like that. Boy.
And so you let these cook, and now we're going to say that they're cooked, and we're going to bring out our
this one over
cooked
here.
beans.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, these you've already cooked.
These are cooked.
This is a different. I like this crock pot. It's cute with the eggplant and tomatoes and all that on it.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah. How many crock pots do you have, JoAnn?
Well,
should I ask?
I probably have somewhere around 25.
Wow.
And
that's a lot.
And I just always tell my husband, well, I can justify this. I'm working on this project, and I want it to be right.
And he's the one who asked you to do the cookbook in the first place.
Exactly. So
that's right.
he,
That's right.
He eats it, so he doesn't mind too much.
That's right.
Yeah. Sometimes I've had them all going at once.
Yes.
Almost all of them.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man.
And that's good because it won't short out your electricity because they run on, they're cheaper, a lot cheaper to run than a stove or an oven. So once the beans are cooked, you're going to add the rest of your ingredients. And I like to add my seasonings at the end of cooking in a crock pot, if possible, because that way you'll just get more flavor out of them.
Okay, yeah.
So that was the onion and the garlic powder and the chicken seasoning. And
Well,
then
that's nice
if you
and
want to, I add some spinach, and this gives it a pretty color once it's cooked.
Oh, yes. So would you cook it a little longer once you add this, or
really, I only for like 5 minutes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
just so it all gets hot. It it seems to blend up real nicely that way, and that's all there is to it. Now, sometimes, that works out good. And but let's say you've got an extra fast pot, and it's going to be done in like 6 or 7 hours, and you're going to make on for 9 or 10 hours.
Right. So
what
do you
do?
then? I haven't the foggiest clue.
Well, what you want to do is get a lamp appliance timer.
Oh, now where can you get one of these?
A lamp appliance timer you can get in any hardware store.
Okay.
Any hardware department of any store.
Okay.
And you just plug your pot into here, and you can set the time that you want it to come on.
Nice.
You can set this like 6 hours later for the beans to start cooking.
Okay.
And most recipes in my book, I can set it for like 6 hours later,
Boy, that's
for them to
neat.
start cooking. And then it has a little red button too that you can set for when you want it to stop. But I usually just use the green one, and then it's done when I'm ready. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So they're pretty handy.
Yeah. So say you get up in the morning and you can put your beans on, and then you can just set that timer, and it would come on later, and then you get home at 5 o'clock, and then you can eat your beans.
There you go. And if it's overnight, you put the timer in there.
So it comes on at midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boy, that's exciting.
And there's one other little tip that I'll share at this time, because fast cookers and extra fast cookers, I find a lot of times they'll sputter.
Yes.
Water will kind of seep out, and then you got a pool of water on the table, and it makes a mess. And so what I use there is I use a towel.
Oh, nice.
And so I just lay my towel over here.
Just like that.
And it just picks up that little bit that's going to sputter out. And don't use a heavy towel, just like a hand towel, or even paper towel works, but this works really nicely.
Yes. And then you don't have the big mess on the counter that you got to be cleaning up.
That's right.
Right.
So
good.
That's so we start out with our great Northerns,